Good morning, students. Today we are going to deal with the topic reaching the age of adolescence, that is chapter 10 in your science textbook. So I hope that you have learned how animals or human beings reproduce in your previous chapter. So it is after growing up to a certain age that human beings or animals can reproduce or have babies of their own. Now, in this chapter, we are mainly going to deal with two words, that is adolescence and puberty. So we all grow up, right? Once we were small babies and then we became kids and then we'll become adults and finally old age. So this is the whole growing up period of a human being. But once a child reaches the age of 11 or 12, you can see body changes taking place in one's body. So these changes like having mustache or having a change in their body shape, these are the changes that takes place in this whole period of time. So the period of time where your body changes to reach the reproductive maturity is known as the adolescence. So you must be wondering what this reproductive maturity is. That is the period in which your body changes and then you become an adult so that you can reproduce or have babies of your own. That is known as the adolescence period. So the boys and girls of this age is known to be teenagers. Okay, so there are a lot of body changes that happens during this time. And next word that we are going to deal with is puberty. This is the particular time at which the body starts to change. Now you must be wondering what is the difference between adolescence and puberty. Adolescence is the time period that it starts from the age of 10 and it completes at the age of 19. That whole period one is said to be in the adolescent period. And puberty is that particular time at which your body starts to change. Like boys will start to have mustache and girls will have changes in their body, and that time is called as puberty. Now you know the difference between adolescence and puberty. Let's move on to the next topic. We are going to deal with the changes that takes place during this adolescent period. So the first change is increase in height. So this is one of the noticeable changes that you can see. So there in the age of this adolescent period, boys and girls will have increase in their bones of legs and hands, especially in the legs and hands. And so you must be wondering whether other parts of the body also grow during this time. Yes, other parts of the body also grow, but especially the bones of legs and hands grow much faster than other parts of the body. So it is very important to eat healthy foods and try to avoid unhealthy foods so that your bones and muscles will become stronger. And the second change is that the change in the body shape. So you must have noticed for smaller kids, especially in boys, smaller kids, they will have normal chest, but once they reach the age of adolescence, their chest becomes wider. But for girls, it's not the chest that becomes wider, their hips or their waist becomes wider in size. So the main difference in the body change is that the boys will have wider chest and the girls will have wider waist. And the third change that is noticeable is the change in their voice. So you must have noticed that, right? In small kids, especially in boys, they will have very sweet voice, but once they hit puberty or once they reach the age of adolescence, their sweet voice cracks and becomes very deep voice or very hoarse kind of voice. That is because we have an organ called as larynx or voice box that becomes larger in size during the adolescent period or adolescent age. Especially for boys, it grows bigger in size and forms a lump on their throat that is known as Adam's apple. That is why the voice of the boys change. But for girls or for females, this larynx, it doesn't grow that much. That is why their voice remains to be same, or they will have a very high pitched voice, whereas the boys will have very deep voice. So these are the three main changes, and we'll move on to the next change, that is the change in or the activity increases in the sweat glands or the sebaceous glands. So we all sweat, right? We all sweat while playing or while during the summer season. We all sweat normally, but during the adolescence age, boys and girls sweat more. That is because the sweat gland produces more sweat, and also the sebaceous glands. So you must be wondering what these sebaceous glands are. Sebaceous glands are organs or the glands that produces oil in our body. That is why the boys and girls, once they hit puberty, they have acne and pimples all over the face and the body, because these sebaceous glands increase their activity and produces lot of oil on their body. So this is the fourth change that is noticeable, and the fifth change is that the change or the size increase in the sex organs. So male and female, they have different sex organs, and for males the testis grows and they will start to produce sperm, and for female the ovaries will become mature and they will start to produce eggs. So these are the main differences. And the final change that is noticeable is the mental, intellectual and emotional change in the adolescent age group. So till then the children will be very dependent on their parents for their emotional, intellectual and mental strength. But once they reach the adolescent age, they will start to become very independent. They'll be very self-conscious. Their thinking pattern changes and small fight happens between the parents and children because of this. But don't worry, it's all part of growing up. And some will become more insecure because they will have pimples, but some will be very happy because slowly the mustache will start to grow. But whatever the changes are, these are all natural process of growing up. So we are winding up for today's session. Thank you.